Okay, you're wearing the right colors. So we're here. Boom. All right. So with today being a smaller class, all we're going to do is just go over some different techniques that you guys kind of have questions on or things you want to see. You wanted to go over just a mounted cross collar choke, just kind of keeping it simple here. So a couple things with the mounted cross collar choke that we want to be aware of. One, because we're going to be dedicating both of our hands, we want to make sure we're starting this from a solid base to where it's going to be hard for him to buck. Because if I'm here and I just kind of keep a shallow base, all Austin has to do is roll one side or the other, and he's basically got it what he wants. So one of the first things you want to do is I like to either go really wide kneed, because then that way if Austin goes to roll, I have a little bit better of a basing option. Or I like to cross my heels under the butt because it kills a lot of his hip motion. And then if he goes to try to roll or do anything, I can also kind of kick those legs out as needed. So I like to kind of start here, and then as I really start to apply the choke, I transition my feet to that cross position. We're here, most people are going to be keeping their hands up, so all I'm going to look to do is get one collar open. I'm looking to go 4 fingers in, right to where my pinky finger rests on their collarbone. So I'm here, I'm reaching in, grabbing that. I'm not trying to go all the way to the back of their collar, like for like a baseball bat choke, because that'll mess up your wrist more than anything. And you want to have that. Yeah, I want, like, my thumb should be kind of tickling his ear a little bit. And like I said, you'll feel your hand come right across the top of that collarbone, and that's where I want my hand here. Once we're there, my other hand, all I'm going to look to do is I like to reach it over and cap that shoulder. It's a little bit quicker. A lot of people will show coming like back over to this collar. I typically think that's a lot harder to dedicate to, and it gives you less options to transition off. So if I'm going to go cross collar here, I'm going bottom hand in, and I'm looking to keep that wrist right across the middle of his throat. My top hand comes over. I'm trying to drag that forearm across his chin, driving across, while I flare my wrist, drop my weight behind it. So as you're doing this, you're trying to get your chest on top of that choke and control his hips. So I'm here, we're hand fighting, boom, boom. I get my grip here. As soon as I'm here, I'm already applying pressure. I start to bring my chest in. I cross my heels here, finish the choke.
What are you doing with your wrist?
Flaring it in. So kind of just hitting that wrist curl. So that way I'm pulling the slack out of his collar that little bit, but I'm also driving that wrist into the neck more. So I'm just looking to drive that wrist down and that elbow to the mat if I can. So I'm going to do it with a looser grip so I don't kill Austin. I'm here, and I'm trying to drop this elbow all the way to the mat if I can. Because this, even here, I have no pressure on one side, but because I get my hand in the right place, it's good. So when I'm here, I'm looking to drive that here, and boom, right there.
Pull the pressure with the chest?
Yeah, I'm following that down with my chest. Because once I'm here, this hand's really just for support. It doesn't even always have to get a grip. It's just driving across that pressure and keeping his hands occupied. Not particularly. I'm actually trying to drive his chin into the hand that's choking. So like when I'm here and I'm driving this, I'm trying to drive his chin that direction because that gives me more open space on this side to drop that elbow.
What defense are you looking at then?
Collapsing my elbows.
Okay.
So when I get here, boom, as soon as Austin feels this hand establish a grip, he needs to come here, collapse my elbow, and start to controlling it as much as possible. Because the second I start to drag this across, it's already going to start applying pressure. So his goal is to keep my elbow as centered as he can and to hand fight here. Boom, he's going to start this hand's controlling the elbow. This hand should be coming from my wrist and trying to break that grip or block. It's going to be one of those uncomfortable, but if you control hands, you should be able to survive.
Is there any, with the head to the mat, put their head to the mat?
Yeah. Biggest thing you're looking at with that head to the mat is to give yourself the post. So if I'm here, I'm posting to the opposite side of the hand in. It's because what I'm trying to do is stop him from bridging and rolling here.
Right.
It just gives you that extra post. It's not helping the choke in any particular way. It's just stopping the counter.
What do you think about the head to the mat?
If your choke's in and your head hits the mat, something's off. Like if I'm here and me and Austin are, we're really going, and I get here, if I can get my head all the way down, it's because he's defending. It's not because I'm doing anything right. Like at that point, it's like, all right, I need to readjust some. At that point, it's more about readjusting than it is squeezing harder or dropping that head. It's generally, if I've gotten my chest behind that choke, my head into that position, and I don't hear that gurgling, or he's kind of you don't feel him trying to escape because he's getting choked. Something's wrong at that point. Sitting back up and readjusting is probably the right idea, or transitioning off. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Other questions on this one? So one more
Switch the
time.
hands.
Huh?
Can you switch the hands?
Yep. So I'm here. This hand comes in, like I said, looking for right above that collarbone. Dropping that elbow across here. I like to grab just kind of where that cloth patch is normally on some of the gis. Kind of like on JJ's where that flag patch is on his shoulder. That's where I'm looking to grip. Here, here, here. Like I said, if my head got all the way down here and this choke wasn't working, something else has gone terribly wrong. Like, something's not in. You're better off to adjust than to keep squeezing there. Because that's what happens for a lot of people is they think they have a choke, and then they're like, ah! And then they can't figure out why their arms are shot in the second match of the tournament. Because you squeezed a choke that was never going to happen for 2 minutes instead of adjusting, figuring something else out. So you always want to give it, I always give it a good 5-second squeeze. Because at that point you'll know if they start to defend, start to wiggle. So, if you don't feel like it's in, that's the point when they're going to start to. You should go, okay, now I got to readjust or do something different.
So as far as readjustments would be concerned, would you still want to keep the weight forward and just readjust the hands first?
Yeah, at that point it's going to be the hand fight that you've lost. So most of the time, if I go here and here, what's happened is he's got control of my elbow here. So at that point it's going to be clearing, trying to get that hand out, and then coming back over. So it's going to
always still sitting forward.
Yeah, I'm still keeping pressure on. Up close magic, right? If I keep you focused on the fact that I'm choking you, our nervous system is wired to want to address that problem first. Which then, if you want to transition off of this, can always be a very useful tool. Because if I'm here, I start dropping this elbow down, most people are going to fight 2-on-1, which can then let you start setting up other options. So that's why I like to set up a cross-collar choke. If I grab a cross-collar choke on you, just know it's unlikely I'm actually trying to choke you with it. I'm setting something else up. I just need you to react. I'll grab it in butterfly or guard or wherever because I want your hands to start moving. Because a lot of people will set grips and then they'll be like, I have a grip. I'm never letting go. And it's like, okay, it's real annoying of you, Corey. I know you grip tools all day, but you can let go occasionally. So it's like, I'm going to grab this choke and start applying that pressure. Doesn't cost me a lot of energy, makes him focus on this, and it allows me to start setting other things up. Because as soon as his hands come up to start defending this, okay, can I get my chest behind that? Can I clear it the other way? Can I use it for a backpack drill? There's a couple different options you can transition off to, but it's all off just having a good threatening cross-collar choke. Does that make sense? All right, let's practice that for a few minutes. 1, 2, 3. So next question we had was shoulder crunch. How to get there effective and efficiently. So for me, I'm generally going to start, first thing is, if they're sitting up in my butterfly guard, going to be super difficult to start setting up most of my guards. If they're sitting up, I want it to be because I'm attached to them sitting up, not because, like if I'm here and Austin just sits up and is working, wildly inconvenient for me. So first thing I'm going to look to do is I'm going to look to come up with at least one underhook, and I'm not going to look to go straight to that shoulder crunch, but I'm going to look to dig for the side that I want. So for me, that is always going to be with my left hand. I'm going to look to come here. And I'm just going to look to get like that over-under grip here, and I'm going to look to pull him in. Because then what that's going to allow me to do is now, I can start to frame and get that in. So first thing you're going to want to do is to pull posture and off balance. So for me, that's going to be with just getting in here, boom, and getting him pulled down into me, getting that distance managed to where I want it to be. As soon as that's in, then as long as I have the underhook on the side I want, boom, it's just frame and get here. Does that make sense? Now, another option for getting there, and what I like to do is I'll like to kind of kick people's legs out, because what it does is it forces them to base and to drive into me. So like if I'm here and I'm working, I'll just boom, he'll base into me. It's like, all right, thanks. And then you're in there.
I think you just showing the, like, peeling his face over,
Yeah.
that was super helpful, didn't it?
Yeah, because look, if I just go, hey Austin, I'm definitely going to shoulder crunch you. Like, people are going to hand fight and pummel drill their way back in. But if I'm here and all I'm looking to do is boom, second I have an underhook, I have my shoulder crunch. It's just how long does it take me to get there? Because for me, it's like, I'm just going to come elbow in your ear and then come back in. That's going to be the biggest part of it. Or if I'm here, I'll even grab the head. Like, I'll sit up and do like the head grab. Boom, here. Pull them down. Boom, then I'm in. Then it's, what option do you want to hit?
And to do the sweep, do you have to bring them back up and scoot in and then do it, or can you do it?
No, for me, I'm going to look to pull him here. So for me, I'm going to look to pull his shoulder and everything up. So for me, I'm going to fly the crunching elbow here, and I'm going to look to pull his chin and everything kind of up, attaching his shoulder basically to my chin. So I'm here, and as soon as that happens, I'm turning my elbows and following him over. It's more just if you have that weight distribution right at that point. If you need to resettle in, that's the only reason I would sit back up. But if I have a solid grip on that shoulder crunch, there's no need to sit him all the way back up to then break him back down. It's like, no. Put his weight where you need it, lift. Does that make sense?
And no gi on the third match in Chicago, he tried to go like that.
Yeah.
And he was tight, so as soon as he do that, I grabbed his.
Yeah, and that's going to be a lot.
That's what I did, because he was tight. He was
Yeah.
almost, I had to switch
Yeah,
my
a
hand
lot of
right.
people, when they get here, are going to start grabbing your head and coming in here. What you have to realize is the second you grab their head, you've given them the sweep. Because they don't have the base they need to break this now. And you've distributed your weight over their hooks. All Austin's weight's right here. I have every bit of the control. I don't even have to crunch. Like, I have control at that point. So for me, that I hope they grab my head, because then at that point,
He tried to do that, but I switched my leg.
Yeah.
One of his leg, because he wasn't gonna do that.
yeah. And so that you just have to be, you better be moving quick if you grab
Yeah,
their
I
head.
did that. I finally had to move my leg because he was about to.
But yeah,
do that. I was
so
slipping there.
that would be the basics of it. So let's go ahead and work on Austin sitting up in the butterfly guard. We're here, we're working on that sit up, boom, breaking that posture, swimming in for our shoulder crunch, and then hitting that sweep.
You move your hips a little bit to do that, or now you just go?
Not as much, it's more about getting his weight over your butterflies. So when I'm here, I'm using that grip to set his weight where I want it. And then if a lot of people when they get this will start slinking away from you, trying to kind of shuffle backwards. So all I'm gonna do is boom, pull them up.
Oh, that's huge. That right there is huge.
Yeah. So that would be the two big details I would work on
I
is
always get there, and then I feel like I have to bring them up and then go like this.
pull them almost like you're,
Your chin, like you said, right?
Bah.
Yeah. Their elbow, or their shoulder, your chin.
Yeah, that's gonna be where you want them, which will pull their weight over your shin bones, which will then make the sweep 10 times easier. Alrighty? 1, 2, 3. Alright, last question was just a simple takedown. Because every white to basically purple belt match has 2 starting options. Or and that's for the next 3 minutes, and it makes me want to shoot all of you. Alright, so one of the most simple ones that you can work is I like to just get that first gi grip on that collar. As soon as that collar grip hits, all I'm going to look to do is snap it and step back just a little bit. So I'm here, step, snap. As soon as that hits, I'm going to drive towards that ankle, throwing his head over his knee, picking his ankle up.
Sick.
Just a real simple ankle pick, because if you do it quick enough, most people are not ready for it if you do it immediately. So like for me, the way I like to set it up, bop, bop, we're moving around, bop. And it's just immediate. You can score quickly and put them on their back foot, and in a lot of tournament settings, be up 2-0. If you pass quickly there, 4-0, 5-0, 10, 20 seconds into a match. So all you're looking to do is get into your wrestling stance. Here, I'm looking to grab that collar, about the same spot, just come and grip here. Just right about that collarbone here. I'm looking to step back, pull his collar down and across just that little bit to get him his weight on that foot. Pop. See how that drops everything onto his foot there? As soon as that pulls there, I drive my knee across, pick his ankle up with my other hands. Now, you can either stay down or follow it up like I did there. Both are right, is more situational. How fast he falls, where you want to go next. I like to standing pass as soon as I hit that because I have control of your foot. So I let go of the collar, pass the foot over, and I'm working past you there.
When you pull him down, are you shooting as he's coming back?
Yeah, so the goal here is, boom, we're working. I pull him down, and as soon as I start to feel him come up, pop, my ankle's already there.
If I draw my right hand like that, fuck you up.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're drawing, I'm going here.
He's a grown adult male or female or they, them, or whatever. The second I pull your head down, most people are going to start to pull their head back up. Nice part is that throws their center of gravity off balance. That's all I need. I don't need them to be way bent over. All I need, pop that weight where I need it, follow it up, tickle their feet. Because I'm rude like that. And tickling is against no rule set I'm currently wearing. But questions on that one? Just a real simple ankle pick. Yeah, I want to pull his, because if I pull his weight down, it doesn't necessarily make him step. So when I'm here, if I just pull his weight down, see how you can stay a little bit more balanced? But when I'm here, it forces that step because his weight and center of gravity makes you want to hit that hard step.
Down and to the left.
Yeah, down and towards the ankle you want to hit. So like if I'm here, boom. Make sense? All right, drill her out. 1, 2, 3.